What's up? So you decided to stick around and you've chosen to do a vanilla server. Congratulations to you. You want the plain experience, the white flavor. So now I'm going to show you how to download and we're going to set up one. Let me open up my Google Chrome here. As you can see, I got a lot of stuff going on up there. And we're going to just go, it's very easy to download this server actually. We are going to, but if you don't want to go here, I will actually have links in the description on how to download, or I'll actually have little packs pre-made for you to download from there. So we'll just go to the Play Minecraft download, and it says multiplayer server. If you are running on a Windows and just want to set up a new server easily, download the exe file. Not that hard, right? So just wait a minute. Okay, we got it downloaded. Now let me make sure it got to the right place, and of course not. Okay, now what I would suggest doing at this point, because if you run the Minecraft server exe directly out of your downloads, it's going to make a lot of crap in your downloads. So what I would suggest doing is let's just make a folder on the desktop, and we're going to name it Vanilla Server. Not that hard. And we're going to move our exe into that folder because it's going to create all those files in this folder. And if you don't believe me, I'm about to show you. So we're going to keep it up. Okay, so now we're going to execute the file. It's going to ask us, yes, do we want to run it? And there you go, see? You didn't believe me, huh? Yes, it is now generating the files, and as you can see, now it's going to say it failed to create some file, or failed to load some files. The reason for that is because there's no files there to load in the first place. So it has to create them. Make sure you open to public networks too, just by the way. Okay, so see, not that hard, and it generates them automatically. And then dim1 and dim-1 are your end and nether, but we won't deal with that right now. Okay, so now as you can kind of see, it's not that hard to use. You have your memory usage over here, you have your average tick, your different levels, which level 0 I believe is world, level 1 is nether, level 2 is the end. And you have your console over here where it's going to kind of read out some issues. Now let me go ahead and just run, and normally if you're playing in the game, you'll type slash for commands, but if you're running it from the console, you just type what the command is. You just hit stop. It's going to run it. Now I'm going to open it back up again, and this time I'm going to show you what it's going to do. Okay, this is getting annoying. So let's go ahead and move that out. But see, now look how fast it's going to load up this time. So see, it had no files to create. Now, as you see, Minecraft defaults to the port 25565. Now also when you type this into your game, you don't have to type the port. You can just type in the IP. So now if you do change that port to whatever you want, that's going to be a different story. Then you're going to have to type in the port. So let's go ahead and show you how to configure the port. Now you're going to go to the server file here and make sure it's opening in the text, or actually that's a log, I'm sorry. Server properties, that's it, because you're going to want to make sure you open it in a text editor. So you want to say select from a list of programs, and we're just going to use Notepad because it does work. As you can see, I'm running this on a Parallels virtual machine, so if I get any blue screens of death, just fair warning. So that's fine. Notepad, where you be, Notepad? There you go. Okay, there you go. Now, if you change this level name right here, that's actually going to make it so it's going to respawn a whole new world and regenerate it. Because what happens is you could put any world save you wanted into this folder, no matter what it's named, as long as you type in that name here where it says level name, you can actually change the world that it will load. Now, do you want to allow the nether? Yes or no? That's up to you. Enable query. What this means basically is some websites will actually allow you to make it so they can ping a server and give it back results. It's up to you. If you're going to do that, I would leave it if you're interested in that, leave it on true. It's not going to change anything on your end. You won't see it, when it pings, but it will. Allow flight. Now, this isn't talking about like creative, like no creative flying. No, this is talking about if they have a mod. Do you want them to? Do you want, or if you give them special something like that? Do you want to let them fly? Yes or no? That's up to you. Server port. This is, like I said, where it makes the big deal. If you leave it on port 25565, it'll remain. You don't have to do the port number when you enter the address. But if you change that port number, make sure you remember what that port number is when you give it out. We're not going to mess with level type. We don't need to worry about Archon. Level seed. This is only going to work if you want to regenerate a whole new world. It's like if I do -1, then I type in the seed here, and then when I run the server, it'll create a whole new world. It'll load this world, world -1, with that seed generated. Let's just keep it on world for now. Server IP, I would not touch this at all costs because usually you don't need to tinker with this because your computer IP is going to be the default one. And I'm going to show you how to get this in the extra video for port forwarding. Max build height. This is how tall the persons can build. Do you want to allow villagers to spawn? Yes or no? Do you want to have a whitelist? Yes or no? Do you want to spawn animals? Yes or no? Snooper enable. I wouldn't deal with that. Do you want to make it hardcore? Yes or no? Texture pack. This is a cool little feature that was just added fairly recently. And what you can do is, my suggestion would be upload the texture pack to Dropbox and create a link to it, or generate a link, and then copy and paste that link into the texture pack blank here. This will allow you to it'll make every player automatically download the texture pack and make it so they play on the texture pack. One of my cool favorite ones is Sphax, which I was thinking about doing on my server, but that'll come at a later date. Online mode, don't touch that because obviously you want the server online. Do you want to enable PvP? Yes or no? Difficulty is going to deal with how, like right now it's set to easy, 2 is normal, 3 is hard, and I can't remember what peaceful is. I want to say it's either 0 or 4. I'll come back to that one. Game mode, which 0 is survival, 1 is creative, 2 is adventure. Kind of cool, that's a new type, the new thing going around adventure maps and whatnot, although that takes a little bit of work too. Max players, you configure this here, and that's how many players you're going to allow on the server. Keep in mind, you don't want to test yourself here on this. Make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. Do you want to allow monsters to spawn? View distance, I wouldn't touch because this is the default one. Don't mess with it. Generate structures. Do you want to allow abandoned mine shafts, strongholds, and etc., temples to generate? Usually I'd leave that on true. MOTD, this is a fun one to do. However, it's a little bit of a pain later on. MOTD, when people type in your server, it'll have whatever they named it, and then the MOTD will show up right below the name. So right now it just says a Minecraft server. However, you could type in whatever you wanted it to say. But if you change it, you have to wait for a reboot of the server before it'll actually apply the changes. Okay, so we got so we've gone over all that. The ops text file I wouldn't edit because you can just do that yourself. The Minecraft server will handle all that. Whitelist, the server can also handle now. Ban players and banned IPs, the server can handle now. You just type in ban IP or ban player. So anyway, there you go. That's how you run a vanilla server.